Is it on?
Hi.
Hi. It is such an honor to be having this conversation with you. Erica Huggins is a shero of mine, and I'm just in awe. I'm in awe.
I am so in awe of you, Chinonye. I mean, you're my friend and everything, but come on. And I told Zoe that this was the most amazing thing I've seen on screen ever. Because you pulled something out, wrote about it through the eyes of a person like me, a Black mother. And it's beyond touching and moving and heart-opening and heart-wrenching. But I'm reminded to be every day grateful that my sons and my grandsons are alive. And I hope that everybody out here feels that way about the people, their beloveds. But you showed love on the screen. So I'm going to ask you all about how you did that, but thank you for allowing the story to be told in a woman's own words, from her own heart. It's a gift.
Thank you.
And we don't have any tissues up here or anything.
No, I'm gonna need a couple tissues, y'all.
So, Danielle Deadwater. Every award possible should go to her for, well, let me ask you a question. How did you encourage her to go so deeply into the heart of Mamie?
I was very intentional about creating a safe space for her. I constantly reminded her and showed her that I am fiercely protective of her well-being and her process as an actor, but her heart and her spirit, because I knew that she was going to have to really go deep. And when she acts, when she stepped into this role, she really offered her mind, body, and spirit. And that demanded a vulnerability that needed to be protected. And so we spent months before shooting going through every emotional beat and nuance of the script and diving deep into the research, but also talking a lot about her needs, to protect her well-being. And one of the things that I did we had a therapist on set every day for the cast and crew. And
Thank you.
Yes. And also there were certain scenes, like the scene where Mamie was looking at Emmett's body in the funeral home, that I limited to 2 takes. So there are certain scenes that I limited to 2 takes ahead of time. And I told the crew, do the best you can, but no matter what we get in 2 takes is what's gonna be in the film. And I asked Danielle to choose when in the shooting schedule would be best for her to do certain scenes. And so it was a real partnership. It was a real partnership. And, I am fiercely protective of the cast and crew I work with. And I'm acutely aware that we are human beings making a film.
Okay.
And whatever their human needs require was priority before the film. And, the film will happen as it happens. And I was just very communicative of that. And I think that that in addition to the preparation that we did, and really helped her really go deep.
I thought of it, I knew something about you creating, I felt you would create a safe space, which is for everyone, and especially Danielle. Every single one of the actors and actresses, you drew forth their very best. And that says something about them and about you and about the collective wisdom. And how did you choose Danielle?
She sent in an audition tape. It was a very traditional process. We were looking for our Mamie for months, and then she sent in an audition tape. And when I cast actors in leading roles, especially, I first look at this. Can they communicate a story with their eyes? Can they hold and command this frame? Can they get underneath and in between the words on the page to bring out the emotional and psychological subtext? And Danielle checked all those boxes times 10. She sent in an audition tape, and then I called her back for a director session. And the director session was working with the scene where Mamie is looking at Emmett's body in the funeral home, and there's no dialogue, but there are so many different emotional beats that lead to Mamie's moment of decision. And that's what Danielle and I talked about in the director session. Where does Mamie begin emotionally, and how does she get to that moment where she decides to force the world to see what happened to her son? And in doing that work with her, it just solidified my decision to cast her.
Beautiful. Because the other part of the space that we call safe is that it's brave.
Yes.
And I didn't lose a child, but I've lost a lot in my life. And to be brave enough to then go forward and do what is necessary to do. Your Mamie, Danielle, was able to show us that we can step up and step forward. Did you know that that's what you wanted to do with this film? What do you want people to what do you want all these wonderful people to walk away with and feel inspired to do?
I want everyone here and all audiences who watch the film to feel activated. To see yourselves and the humanities that are on screen, to be activated to ask yourself, how can I get outside of my own bubble and be a change agent? Because we're all connected. What are the ways that I might be contributing or be implicit in the oppression of others? And how can I challenge that, dismantle that? There's a midterm election coming up next month. What are the ways, how can I know how can I educate myself, know what's at stake? Not everybody has access or the ability to vote because people are actively being disenfranchised and voting rights are being taken from people. But if you have the ability to vote, there's that power. How can I be a part of movement building? What are the ways that I can affect change, big, small, everything in between? And how can I build upon the legacy of freedom fighters on screen, freedom fighters like Miss Erica Huggins, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I want you to be activated, and I want you to believe that even if the change and progress that it doesn't happen in our lifetime, that we can still be a part of helping to move things forward for future generations.